Good morning and welcome. Happy Friday. You made it through another week. It is raining, snowing. I mean, it's crazy weather here in the Valley of the Sun. Freeways are closed. You can't get to Vegas. Well, they may have reopened by now, but a 22-mile backup trying to get to Vegas as the snow has shut down the interstates in certain areas. I will tell you this. The gold shipments have been all messed up. And really, they're not messed up. They're just slow. Things where, normally we get things overnight. Now they're taking 2 or 3 days. The ones that got to go ground that usually took 2 or 3 days are taking 4 and 5 days. Just be patient. And it's weather everywhere, really. I mean, East Coast, West Coast. The plains, the Rockies, global warming is here. 800-951-0592. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Of course, legal, lawful, constitutional tender. It is what we do. The website at allamericangold.com. And I know a lot of you were super, super excited to hear Eric again. Of course, Eric founded Patriot. He was the one that founded it. I've taken it over. Now we bought the radio station up in Colorado. By the way, for all of you that aren't in Colorado, or even if you are in Colorado, you go out to allamericangold.com. On the right-hand side where you would go for like the podcast and all that, the very first one, it's got the the American flag there and 1360 KHNC. Just click on that. I'll take you right to our new website there at 1360. I don't know what Eric's going to do. We have made him an offer for him to do his own show. It's not a gold show, not a but his own show. And we would produce it in Colorado. If you're listening and you want to support that, or maybe you want to sponsor that or do something like that, call us. Because I would love to be able to go to Eric and say, hey, listen, I got 3-4 businesses that want to get behind you. I got a bunch of people that want to get behind you. You know he's great. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, he is the best on-air personality I've ever met. The guy's hilarious. He does great stuff. There's no commitment here, but even if you're just interested and want to learn more, and I'll just pass the information on to Eric as he's deciding what it is that he wants to do. I will tell you, we put our best foot forward in trying to make that happen for everybody up there. We're talking about potentially a 3-hour show. Yeah, can you imagine 3 hours with Eric? We're thinking possibly 4 to 7. It may not happen. I don't want to get everybody's hopes up, but I will tell you this. If we get a bunch of guys on board that want to support that and sponsor and have commercials run and all that stuff, we can make it happen. I think we can. I really do. And we're behind it. I'm trying. Listen, I will tell you this. We are closing in. And everything just takes longer than we think. But the programming that is coming to KHNC, you guys are going to love it. Where all the replays are there. There's going to be a huge, huge, huge reduction in replays. The weekends, you're going to have so much more original programming coming at you. And I will say this, we're working on podcasts. We're working on like the Colorado Front Range Hour. We're working on getting that podcasted. Eric comes on board. We'll get that podcasted as well. So many great things. The transmitter, man, I'll tell you what, we've spent a ton of time on that thing. We almost got back to full power, but we're still at the best power it's been in years. Got a few more, like anything else. This is like a car, an older car. You fix one thing, something else breaks. That's kind of where we're at right now. Eventually, we'll have fixed the whole thing, and we'll get it rocking. But I'll tell you right now, we're reaching Castle Rock, and we're back into hitting Cheyenne and all those things. So just be ready. We got so many great things coming. So if you may be a person interested in helping us bring Eric, give us a call, 800-951-0592, and we can try to see if we can get this deal to happen. Yesterday had a big sell-off, and it really wasn't it was a sell-off. We had a sell-off in gold and silver. It was called profit-taking. Today, that sell-off's going the other way. Gold's up 5, 13.29. Silver's up 10, 11, 12, 15.92. The Dow was down yesterday, up today because they're optimistic on the China thing. And I'll just say this. The Dow's rallied like 6 times in the last 6 weeks because they were optimistic about China. Nothing's happened. I don't know that anything is going to happen. And again, if it does, China's going to do what China does. I don't trust them. I really don't. I think we should just go to the tariff thing and go that way. Because, quite honestly, whatever it is, if they even agree to do anything, look at all the stuff that they agreed to that they're already doing now. Right? I forget the companies that now say, hey, China stole our stuff. Right? The list keeps growing, right? They're not supposed to do it. They're doing it. I don't know. I guess apparently as long as the bankers want something to happen, they're going to get it done, whether it's good for America or not. Patriot Radio News Hour, Fake News Friday coming up next. Don't touch that dial.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the others? Before I finish my song.
From news headquarters, this is
Fake
News
Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
What is real? How do you define real?
Fake News Friday.
Fake.
Yes, it's another edition of Fake News Friday. Of course, as you all know, all of these stories are actually true. They should all be fake, but they're true. But our buddy Glenn, the professor, he changes one minute detail in one of the stories, and we got to figure out which one it was that he changed and made into a fake story. I believe today I think I got Brian on today. It's Jason's anniversary. Is that right, Brian?
Yes, it is. That's my understanding. At least that's the story he's sticking with.
Well, that's the story. He didn't go to work today. Right, we got Bernice running the board up there in Johnstown. Jason's mom is the backup board operator who, really she's probably better at it than Jason is. But nonetheless, he gets her to go to work in the, I don't know, is it snowing there? I'd imagine the conditions are bad. It's freezing outside. All on I'm going to be spending the whole entire day with his wife. That doesn't sound like an anniversary present to me if I was Brooke anyway, but nonetheless, that's what he says.
Joe, that conjured the image from that one movie where the guy hollers at his mom. He still lives at home. Mom, meatloaf!
Meatloaf! I don't know what she's doing up there. Anyway, but happy anniversary to Jason and Brooke. And Brooke, my apologies that you got to spend the entire day with Jason. But you're, bless your heart. You got I think you got a hall pass at the pearly gates when that time comes. Ramon, we're ready to rock and roll. Let's get this thing going.
All right, here we go. Story number 1. Custom agents in South Texas discovered nearly $13 million worth of methamphetamine hidden in a shipment of strawberries over the weekend. A 42-year-old Mexican man was stopped Saturday while driving a truck into the U.S., according to the Customs and Border Protection. Officers inspected the shipment of frozen strawberries and found 906 pounds of meth. Story number 2. The airlines in the U.S. are set to add additional gender options for passengers who identify as non-binary. The passengers who don't identify as male or female will be able to instead choose unspecified or undisclosed. The industry trade group Airlines for America announced the new gender options that will go into effect June 1st. U.S. airlines value a culture of diversity and inclusion both in the workplace and for our passengers. And we work hard each day to accommodate the needs of all travelers while delivering a safe, secure, and enjoyable flight experience. Story number 3. As Egypt's population heads towards 100 million, the government is trying to change the minds of people with 2 is enough program. It's the government's first family planning campaign aiming to challenge traditions of large families in rural Egypt. The main challenge is that we're trying to change the way of thinking, said Rhonda Farset, of the Social Solidarity Ministry. To change the way of thinking is difficult. We're going the way of China with their one-child policy, but do not see the requirement to limit one child just yet, using demographic studies to point to a change in the future, Forrest said. All right, that's story number 3. Gentlemen, who will go first?
Brian, I'll give you the option.
I have no clue on these, so I guess I'll go first. So that third one, 2 is not enough. It's a bit shy of, what was the U.S., the show we had here?
8 is enough.
8 is enough, right? I mean, you know.
So wait a minute, a quarter of that, and I don't even remember what's the rate to keep a population steady? Isn't it like 2.3 or 2 point something?
Again, you're asking me to do math? I'm in radio. I don't do that.
Wait, math with decimal points? We know how that worked out for the museum up at the Grand Canyon. Not very well.
1 decimal point. What's the big deal? Since there were more numbers in that first one with the South Texas Customs, $13 million shipment of meth and frozen strawberries, I think there's something in that one. There's just because of the details, but that's about all I got. I don't know. Nothing's really standing out to me.
I'm agreeing with you, Brian. I don't know any of these. Okay,
no.
I didn't. I actually did not even hear of any of these stories, and the strawberry thing, I think that's a daily thing. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know how much 900 pounds of meth is worth, but I'm going to say that one happened to me. I'm not down with my meth and the math. You know, it's just too hard. Kind of like the central bank, right? Math's too hard for people, so don't worry. We can rack up as much debt as we want. 2 is not enough in Egypt, or 2 is enough. Okay, maybe. I didn't know that Egypt was having that issue. The second one, though, the airline one, I've got to go with that one because really, is this where we're at now? That we have to have these identifiers, or I guess non-identifiers. So for that reason, just because I think it's just gotten ridiculous. It's kind of like the USA Today says they went back. I don't know if you guys saw this. They went back to all and I forget how many hundreds of colleges that they went to and pulling the yearbooks from the 70s and the 80s to see how many blackface things they could find. It's gotten ridiculous. So I'm going to say the one in the middle, even though it probably isn't, I want it to be fake, so that's my guess.
All right, so you are going with story number 2, the airlines, correct?
Correct.
All right, well, gentlemen, you are both incorrect. It is story number 3. The portion of that story that is incorrect is the comment of, we're going to go the way of China and 1 child only.
Sneaky Glenn.
By the way, that story in USA Today, the ironic thing about it is the staff of USA Today went back looking in the yearbooks, and they found out that their managing editor was actually one who published a picture of somebody in blackface when they were here in Arizona. So, oops.
That was at ASU, wasn't it?
I believe,
she's an ASU grad?
Correct. So they dug a little too far.
a little bit too deep. And by the way, I thought it was actually pretty creative. The people went as Mike Tyson and Robin Givens.
Yes.
And yeah, apparently that's horrible. So my apologies to everybody that was done here at ASU. But yeah.
You know what? At this point, let's just apologize to everybody for everything we've ever thought
there
or
you go.
said.
You know what? I'm going to give it a blanket. I'm sorry
Yep.
to anybody and everybody, LBGQ, foreign, domestic,
everybody,
black, white, Asian, legal, illegal. I'm sorry.
Paper, plastic, leaded, unleaded, whatever.
Yeah, all of that stuff. The straws. Sorry.
All right. Whoa, everybody calm down. We still got round two.
Fake News Friday. I got distracted.
Never mind all the fake hate crime stuff, too. Won't even go there.
Right, yes. Hey,
Well,
I'm sorry that someone didn't assault you.
Well, let's get on to some more news
before we get banned.
before it's completely shut down. Many Democrats have recently called for the end of ICE, dead set in opposition to President Donald Trump's effort to crack down on illegal immigration and secure the nation from criminal illegal aliens. But what happens to those two issues, strict gun control versus strict immigration control, come into conflict? As it turns out, Democrats seem to prefer to side with illegal immigrants and oppose ICE over strengthening the gun control laws they themselves have proposed. Laws that would alert certain authorities when individuals fail a background check for an attempted purchase of a firearm. Florida Republican Matt Gaetz tweeted on Wednesday, Democrats in the Judiciary Committee just voted against notifying ICE when an illegal alien fails a background check to buy a gun. They hate ICE so much that they keep ICE in the dark when illegals try to get a gun. That's story number one. Story number two, a performing arts center in Ohio is pulling the plug on Nerf birthday parties at the facilities after folks complained about one of the games outlined on the center's website that encourages kids to eliminate the president. The Olmsted Performing Arts Center in Ohio advertised Nerf-themed events for kids and offered a selection of different games to choose from. These action-packed parties, perfect for birthdays and other special events, are 2 hours of nonstop fun centered around Nerf battles. The description read, your guests will enjoy up to 3 different organized games. Selections include Capture the Flag, Eliminations, Outlaws, and Infection. That's weird. There's also the president. There's one president with bodyguards, the website explained. Everyone else tries to eliminate the president. Story number 3. Iranian state TV did not broadcast a soccer match because of the presence of a woman as a referee, the media say. The Islamic country censors the showing of women in revealing clothes, such as football shorts. Iranian state broadcaster did not show a match between Munich and Augsburg on Friday because German referee Bibian Steinhaus was officiating, citing Iranian media. The broadcast was reportedly canceled because the country's strict Islamic regulations. Hey, let's start over again.
It's Friday.
Oh, my gosh.
Have another cocktail.
Whew, hold on a second.
Don't worry.
Oh, I'm going to stretch. All right. I know we got 2 minutes. All right. No. Okay, mouth is all stretched out. Continuing, citing Islamic regulations do not allow the showing the image of women wearing clothes that are revealing large amounts of skin, such as football shorts. Iranian correspondent for German public broadcaster tweeted that the broadcast in Iran had been canceled because at the last minute because asking, well, then why can't she wear a burqa to officiate? Whew, made it through. That's story number 3. Gentlemen, what do you say? Other than me fumbling.
Wow. Yeah, I almost want to pick that one because of your fumbleitis. Yeah. Wow. I don't know where he's getting any of these stories. I've seen none of these. I just, again, number 2 has to be the thing. You can't be having kill the president. But we probably do, and I'm probably going to lose to Brian, but that's the one that needs to be fake, at least in my opinion, story number 2.
All right, story number 2, Nerf president. All right, okay.
My neck is hurting from shaking it back and forth at these real stories. I cannot believe. I didn't hear any of these, but there we are. Well, Joe, whatever our score is, we're going down together because I agree. There's no way the Nerf battle with the theme to eliminate the president that has been allowed, regardless of who the president or how bad they are. I can't imagine that being allowed.
So we're both going to say number 2.
Both two.
In the case that it is number 3, I want to say this. It would have been the line about the burqa that would have been fake that he made up. I'm just saying. I don't know. But we both said 2. So, Ramon, are we right or are we wrong?
Gentlemen, you both are incorrect. Joe, you should have went with your gut. It's story number 3 and the portion about wearing a burqa.
No.
You didn't pick it.
I did it.
Yep.
I did. I wanted to, but I thought you were trying to trick me with your horrible reading.
Oh, fantastic.
That tried
I
to
appreciate
dupe
it. Oh, look at this. Oh, no, I turned off Joe. Brian, it's your show. What do you want to do?
Well, let's see now. We got some conspiracies to cover today.
You might as well take it to the break since I can read horribly. Well, let me put Joe back on.
And there you have it. Nobody wins on a Fake News Friday. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. Brian, if you can, stay with us. I got some questions for you.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily commentary continuing the conservative pro-family legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. And now, from the archives of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, here is Phyllis Schlafly.
For many, many years, Americans observed today, February 22nd, as George Washington's birthday. Several years ago, under pressure from the unions, Congress made Washington's birthday one of our legal 3-day weekends and passed a law that Washington's birthday should be observed on the third Monday in February. So we enjoyed our 3-day weekend last week. But today gives us another opportunity to remind listeners about the true greatness of the man who is properly called first in war, first in peace, and first in the hearts of his countrymen. A picture of George Washington used to hang in every public school classroom, but somehow those pictures disappeared. Modern writers have tried to downgrade Washington's religious faith. In Washington's time, there was a strict formality in the way they addressed Almighty God, but that's no indication of any lack of faith in God or Jesus Christ by Washington, or the fact that he and the struggling Americans asked for God's help and believed he would, indeed, favor their battle for independence. Washington's public statements and private letters are full of religious and Christian references. Here are some examples. In a general order to his troops, dated May 2, 1778, Washington wrote, "To the distinguished character of Patriot, it should be our highest glory to add the more distinguished character of Christian." The next year, Washington said in a speech to Delaware leaders, "You do well to wish to learn the religion of Jesus Christ." Washington hung paintings of the Virgin Mary and St. John in places of honor in his home in Mount Vernon. Washington rigorously observed the Sabbath and attended church services on that day. Numerous associates reported that he regularly reserved time for private prayer. Those who knew Washington best, including the chaplains who served under him during the American Revolution, had no doubt about Washington's strong religious beliefs.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. When America turns our back on our Christian heritage, we shouldn't be surprised when biblical precepts like honesty, kindness, respect, justice, and freedom are abandoned. At phyllisschlafly.com, we still believe in rights endowed by our Creator. If you agree, find out more at phyllisschlafly.com. Thanks for listening to the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. Gold and silver, both up really nicely today. Gold's up $5-6, depending on where you look. $7, $1,200, $1,300, $29 and change. Silver, $15.90. And I'm going to get to silver. Big development in the silver market. We'll get to in just a minute. But Brian, are you still with us?
I am, Joe.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. For those of you that don't know, Brian is our technical, I'll call it technical engineer, if you will, helping us make a bunch of improvements up there at the radio station in Colorado. And he only got this title because between Jason and I, we barely know how to use our cell phone. So, therefore, Brian won, and he has been doing a lot of great things. A lot of the improvements that you've heard on the station are a direct result of all the hard work that he's put in. You see how I'm buttering him up here. But, Brian, I got the big question for you. We are talking about adding programming, bringing new things to the radio station, and we have a technical obstacle that is in front of us. How close are you to resolving this issue?
Well, if it was gauged on effort and me staying up till the wee hours getting close, then I'd be really close. Now, but in anybody that knows computers, it can be one small thing that just prevents the whole thing from working. Everything else behind that is right and correct and accurate, and it boils down to one little thing. So that one little thing is where we're at. If that's
down
a
to one,
dodge
we think
around
we're
the
down to
question,
one little thing is what we're trying to say. In the next 30 days or so, hopefully, we'll have this. And like any good company, we have multiple options that we are pursuing. We want to be able to leave old technology behind, and that's why we're doing these things. But we're closing in on some new functionality that the old station never had. And I was hoping that you would say that we're down to, a couple of things. So we're possibly down to just one thing?
Just one thing, and it's one thing that has the same effect with multiple different shows that we're looking at. Yep.
So there you have it. I just, you know what, and I just wanted to let everybody know that, all of us here are working super hard. None of us really know what the heck we're doing, so it's all trial and error. And I know Brian's been spending so many hours trying to work on this one little technical issue that would allow us essentially to grab any show anywhere and be able to play it in fit our format and do all of those things. And so anyway, Brian, I just wanted to tell you because I know you've got all kinds of birthdays in your family that you got going on. And, of course, obviously your real job, now that the shutdown's over, you had to go back to work and doing all this stuff. So I just wanted to tell you that we couldn't have done it without you, and we appreciate you. Love you, man.
Well, thanks for the recognition. It's good to know that's not by skill, but by default between you and Jason, not having the tendency or inclination.
Well, there's a little skill.
Whatever works, I'll take it.
It was mostly by default, but yes, you are definitely more skilled than Jason and I. But anyway, I wanted to give you a little kudos, a little recognition there, and hopefully the next time Brian is on, he'll tell us that he has solved it. And we'll have great things to look forward to in the future. But anyway, thank you, Brian. Have a good day.
Sounds good. Failure is not an option. That's my motto. Take care, all.
There you go. Keep going. All right. Anyway, so I told you, big announcement in silver yesterday afternoon. Ramon, we okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Hello? We're good? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was weird. Okay. The silver market is seeing a turn in fortune as demands for physical bullion is picking up. The U.S. Mint announced yesterday that they have sold out of American silver eagles. Both the 2018s and the 2019s. Of course, 2018s now are no longer, right? Obviously, we're into 2019, said that production at the West Point facility continues. And when sales resume, so right now, the U.S. Mint has said, we're out. Told all the bullion banks we won't take an order. When sales resume, we will let you know. But they said when sales resume, they will be offered under what they call allocation. We've seen this before. So what allocation will mean is what the Mint simply does is based on, who orders what over the years, right? So you got these 8 banks that they distribute to, and they say, okay, bank A, you've historically always bought the most. We'll give you, and I don't know what the number is. Let's just say it's 1 million Silver Eagles. So the Mint right now says, hey, we not only are we out, but we have orders to fill. So we need to get those orders filled before we'll start selling anymore. And when we sell more, it's not going to be unlimited. And so every bank is going to get an amount. Well, and I don't know what that amount will be. Those banks then will turn to the dealers like us and tell us, here's how many cases you can have. So as of right now, we still have silver. We have it available here. We got it available in Colorado. $395 a roll for U.S. Silver Eagles. But I want you to, when we're out unless we get some allocation. But right now, that is the story from the U.S. Mint is sales have been halted. When they resume, it will be under allocation only. It says year to date, the U.S. Mint has sold more than 6 million ounces of silver. So you think about it, we're not even 2 months in. Over 6 million ounces of silver. That puts us somewhere probably closing in on about 40 million ounces for the year. This is the best start since 2017. And again, remember, 2017 sales slowed, and then 2018 they slowed way down, and now they're coming right back up. The surge comes after a dismal 2018, so there you go. They were right about that. It was. But according to the U.S. Mint now, apparently silver's back in demand. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. So news out of the Mint. So what happens is when the Mint falls more than a couple of weeks behind, in other words, the bullion banks are placing orders. When they get to 2 weeks behind, this is what they do. They'll stop sales, and then normally they'll come out on an allocation only. And then the bullion banks are left with whatever supply that they have. And then once they're exhausted, you're in that holding pattern. By the way, just from a technical perspective, what are we looking for in silver? We want to close above $16.20. If we get a couple of closes in a row above that, we're probably going to see 17. Right now, silver, like I said, up again today. $15.90, $15.91, up 10, 11 cents. Gold now $13.30. So gold's now up $7 at $8, depending on where you look, after some profit taking yesterday. But again, this is Economics 101. And remember, I said at the end of last year, don't be surprised if we see $20 silver. Now I'm seeing today a bunch of guys raising silver forecast $20, $21, $22 to the ounce. And again, remember, silver and gold run together, right? Gold's the responsible big brother. Silver is the ADD little brother, right? He wanders around, and silver fell behind big brother, right? They're walking home, and he got distracted by a butterfly or something. I don't know. And he's got ground to make up. I think it's going to be a big year. It's going to be a big year, I think, for both metals. But silver, at least from a percentage standpoint, is going to be looking awfully strong. And this is why I said, you think about it, over 6 million ounces. I mean, that's a huge amount of silver. And they put them in, the green monster box. That's 500 ounces at a time. That's 12,000 cases. 12,000 cases have been sold in the first, 6 or 7 weeks this year alone. Kind of tells you, hey, there's a lot of money flowing in to the silver markets. The Federal Reserve said it's going to stick to its patient approach towards guiding the U.S. economy, owing to a somewhat slower growth in 2019. They said that inflation is going to be mild, and they have their annual report to Congress. Twice a year, they've got to testify in front of Congress. They issued a 63-page report. And, again, remember what I tell you. These guys are robbing us every day. They rob you of your wealth. That's what they do. Right? They call it inflation. And of course, really what inflation is, it really means devaluation. And think about it. The way it was supposed to work, the way they promised all of us was, yes, we're not going to call it devaluation because, that's a negative word. We'll use the word inflation, but don't worry. Because we're going to pay you a really good rate of interest in your savings accounts, in your bonds, and all that stuff to kind of even it out. And that was the game that they promised us. Right up until that game didn't work. Now, you don't get anything. Well, I guess if you had to say, maybe you get 1%. Right? I mean, you don't even get the fake inflation part. And this is really where the problem lies. And now they've even said, hey, listen, probably going to go lower. Right? We're going back to zero. And unfortunately, and I believe me now, listen to me later, or listen to me now and believe me later, we're going to go negative. We will. Because you can't pay $40 trillion. You just can't do it. But in its 63-page report, it included a few surprises, unless you listen to me, because all the things that were quote-unquote surprises to the Fed, I've been telling you about. They said that there are fresh worries about the economy. The Fed pointed out to slower consumer spending, right? We're slowing. Slower business investment, and actually that's negative, right? GDP now for the third straight quarter in a row. Business investment is negative. Softer home sales. That's a nice word, softer. Now, that doesn't sound too bad. Right? We're back below 5 million homes. Right? That's a horrible number. That was a number that we did. They talk about, jobless claims are back to where they were in the 60s. Yeah, that's where home sales are. Right? We got 120 million more people living here, and home sales are back to where they were in the 60s. That's how bad it is. Trade tensions with China and a weaker global economy. Those are a lot of things. You know what they didn't put in? Falling auto sales, right? Rising defaults, right? I didn't see that. Well, it's not in this article. It may be in the 63-page report, just not in this article. I thought I'd help you out a little bit. By and large, though, despite all of that, the Fed found little to be alarmed about. Yeah, we're not alarmed. Right? It's fine, right? It's just a subprime problem. Oh, wait, that was the last time. Sorry. It's just a slowing problem. That's the problem. We're just slowing too much. Don't be alarmed. Yeah, listen, the time to be alarmed is right now. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. Final segment on this Friday, U.S. Silver Eagles $3.95 a roll till they're gone, and then I'll let you know. So hopefully on Monday I'll be able to give you an update as to availability, not availability, as the Mint is trying to ramp up production to keep pace over 6 million ounces, over 12,000 cases of Silver Eagles sold in just the first, 6-7 weeks of the year here. 800-951-0592. I got a handful, 5-10, probably 10 of those $5 Liberties. They're $365 today at 800-951-0592. Don't forget, don't know where we've made an offer to Eric to see if he'd like to do his own show. If you want to be a part of that, or even if you just want more information on that, give us a call, and then I'm assuming Eric may call you down the line next week as he tries to decide what he wants to do. If he wants to do it, it may happen. It may not happen. But I know that we're doing our best to try. I think how great would that be? Could you imagine? Eric for 3 hours unchained, right? No, it's not a gold show. It's something that he's been working on in his mind for a while. Doesn't know if he's going to do it. No pressure in case he's listening. But we'd like to help make that happen. So if you want to be involved with that, give us a call and we can kind of start putting that information in front of Eric. But before we head out for the day, be careful out there. The roads are crazy. If you're going up into the mountains, make sure you check. Make sure the roads are open. Snowing here. I mean, there was snow in Anthem. There was snow in Carefree, snow in Cave Creek. I mean, there was snow all over the valley the last couple of days. It's been raining pretty much solid for the last few days. Take a little extra time. Be safe out there. Because you know what? Here in Arizona, we're not used to it. Listen, I'm not a good driver to begin with. Right? You throw rain or possibly snow out there, hey, all bets are off. So everyone be safe out there. But before you head out for the weekend, get your financial house in order. Next week, we're going to talk about what is left of Australia's gold. Some very interesting developments coming out of London as to whether or not Australia owns the gold they actually claim they own. Fascinating. So this, right? It's all this stuff's coming home to roost, right? It's starting to all make sense. Remember, I keep talking about, why are these central banks bringing all their gold home? Why are these central banks adding to all their gold holdings? And now all of a sudden, little by little, the pieces of the puzzle start adding up, don't they? Right? Like not letting Venezuela have their gold. Now questions to whether if Australia actually owns the 80 tons of gold they say they have. So that'll be coming up next week. Hopefully on Monday we'll get to that. If I don't get to it, possibly Jason and Brian could get to it on their show. So just keep posted. Listen, keep adding. It's not about how much money. It's about how much does it weigh. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday.